Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. My name is Liz and I'm a reseller in Maryland. You often hear pickers talk about being first on the scene and how the early bird gets the worm. But how often have you heard a picker say that they were excited because they were last on the scene? These two estate sales prove that it is worth going even during the last few hours of many estate sales. I can't wait to show you what I found, so let's go check it out. So this first estate sale was family run in part, I think. There were some professional estate sale people running it. They were very nice, but they moved very slowly with pricing. And honestly, in a way, I think they should have been even cheaper on the last day. But what I really did like is that they did take into account that I had a big pile of stuff. And they at least acknowledged that I was helping take a lot of items out of the building. So that was nice, but I honestly thought it should have been a little bit cheaper. Now, the clothing was one of the big surprises for me. I'll show you some pieces in a few minutes that I got that really shocked me, that I thought everyone would be looking for. Some of these were more mainstream, and I have a lot of clothing in my clothing booth, as my friend Patrice can attest, and so I was trying to be a little bit more strict with myself. I'm not very good at that, if you've been watching at all. I don't know that many resellers that are that good at it. And that was a silk scarf I just pulled out. So yes, you'll see me go through some things, and normally I might pick them up, but I'm trying to go a little easy. That was pretty cool. I had to check and see if it was a gold brooch. So I do have a few pieces like that 80s piece, so I did pass on that too. But like I said, some of the best things I found were in the closets at this sale. Nobody wanted to go through this pile and wait till you see what I pulled out of it. I was really, really excited. A couple little sneak peeks of some things with that ringer tee. So the other room in this house that I thought was really fun was this office, I guess, with all the books. It's sort of obvious to me that not very many book people came through because it wasn't messy, and some of the boxes looked like they'd never been unpacked. So I went through every single one, don't worry, and I'll show you some of the awesome ones I found. I look for weird titles, first editions. Condition is key. I used to buy, if it was like a first edition or it looked cool, I would always buy it. And now I won't do that because I have a large quantity of books, both in my booth and to be listed. So this was a fun sale. I wish I'd been a little bit cheaper, but at least they took the bulk into account. So this second estate sale was a very different in so many ways. That last estate sale was in like a townhouse development and was a little bit messy and dirty and cluttered. And this estate sale was in like one of the most amazing houses I've ever been in. It was in my town. It's like $1 million property, like an old Victorian mansion. So it was busy at this sale because people in my town wanted to look at the house. And so the only problem was it was a little more curated, and the prices were also more curated. So I felt that the prices were actually pretty high, and other people said the same thing to me, especially since it was supposed to be the last day of the sale. So I think that when that happens, you outprice yourself, and then you have fewer sales and more stuff left over, which means you might have a lower profit. Look at that stained glass window. I could not get enough of it. The house was certainly worth visiting. I did enjoy myself. The person running this sale is a great guy, very friendly and fun to talk to. I did pick up a few things. I will share them with you in a few minutes. So I do always keep looking until I can pay myself for my time. It's pretty rare that I leave empty-handed. I like a lot of different things, first of all, but I just keep looking until I get the payout. And that's where I kind of came up with the whole never stop searching thing, because someone said to me once, "Oh, of course you found something, you always do." And I thought about that and said, well, that's just because I don't give up. I stick around. And it's not any kind of secret superpower. Just keep looking, you'll find something. So some of these things had some damage. This was actually fascinating. I kind of wish I bought that ruinous portrait. but I am trying to find things to resell, and my family's not really into creepy faces all that much. I wanted to capture what it looked like. This is downstairs in the hallway, like the foyer type area. It was unbelievable. So I did find some things, even though this was a little bit high priced, and I really did enjoy attending the sale, even if it was a little pricier than I expected. Okay, so I only picked the highlights from these two very different estate sales on their last day. That was really the only thing they had in common. One of these estate sales was like more hoarderish, a little bit dusty, lots and lots of stuff. And then the other one was very kind of high end in this beautiful, beautiful like mansion, and the prices were sky high even though it was the last day. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that you can get things of value, and of course include some teachable moments, especially some ones we maybe haven't experienced together, so that you guys could learn that it is worth it to go the last day, and also learn specifically what types of things to look for. I got these Tommy Bahama sunglasses. I don't know why they were overlooked. I'm thinking $30 to $50. The case is really cool. These are like faux tortoise shell frames. So that was a nice little pickup. I always pick up intriguing pottery. I had never seen this vase. I actually got a pair of these. They're by Deebee. And so the comps are all over the place. Chips like this are not that big a deal, but I probably will still put them in my booth because the comps vary so widely and they're not perfect. But you can take a green crayon or a marker and rub it along there so that it's not visible. You know what I mean? So you can still use the piece. It's not a huge chunk out of the actual pottery or ceramic is my point. But always look at the pottery and the ceramics, because you never know when you're going to find, a Batosi that's worth hundreds. So I always mention that. I pick up vintage slide rules. They have values that can be around $100. This one's probably $30 or $40. This is an AccuMath. Always pick those up. Sometimes they come in really nice leather cases, which will usually increase their value and maybe attract your eye. Weird stuff sells, and so I've got this tall hand. There must be significance to this. I don't know what kind of wood it is. It's sort of amateurish, and I think it has some Hebrew on the side, but I'm not sure what it says. If I have a chance to look it up with Google Lens, I'll let you know what it says. But I think someone who doesn't speak Hebrew would still like this for kind of like boho or eclectic decor. I'll probably put that in the booth. I just don't think I want to ship something this tall. I think this is about 18 inches high, so I'm going to need a box that's like 22 inches to give it some buffer on the side, and I don't think it's worth that much. This little miniature armoire is really cool. Sometimes on Antiques Roadshow, they'll have like salesman samples. I don't think that's what this is. And I don't think this was mass produced. I think granddad made this for his granddaughter so that her dolls had a closet. I think I paid either 15 or 20 for this. I really liked it. That's my explanation. Now, I think you could use this in your own home to display little knickknacks, or maybe even for spices or something, depending on how creative you are, who knows. But you certainly could use it as it was originally intended. It would be really cool for a perfume bottle collection. But anyway, very cute little piece. I will probably put that in the booth as well. I don't think that its value will warrant the shipping I will have to pay for that piece. Now, technically the buyer sort of pays shipping, but you never know. Someone in California is going to buy it. And on Etsy, the shipping is sort of included in the purchase price. Anyway, it's a long story. I don't really want to ship that to California. This is just a really cute acrylic. I'm not going to pull it out of the box because I only have one hand. This is like an 80s Art Deco acrylic napkin holder. I couldn't find this piece, but I found other pieces, so I can share that comp with you. It's never been used. It's in its original plastic sleeve and everything, so that's pretty cool. Disney stuff is tricky. I know a few years ago, was there a problem you weren't allowed to sell Disney stuff? I don't know if they were talking about that. This is a vintage Walt Disney World visor, and the comp on this is pretty good. Again, this was the last few hours of this estate sale, both estate sales. All the stuff is kind of mixed together because I had to go through everything and pick out the highlights. These are really cool. So Garfield's kind of back. Is lasagna back too? I really hope so. These are from the 80s, and there are all these cute Post-its from the 80s. They're worth about, $14 or $15 a piece based on the comps that I found. I just think they're really cool. So I might lot those up in one group, or maybe put the Garfield separate for Garfield lovers and the other ones together, so that I make more money in that one sale and it's just one listing. But $15 a piece, I probably paid $1 a piece. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go over here because this guy's so cool. I've never seen this before. And that in itself is a lesson. If you've never seen it before, you have to buy it. Villeroy and Bach, this guy's amazing. He's just so weird. Like I said, weird sells. He's got a decent comp, so I picked him up and I wanted to share him with you. If something catches your eye, you have to at least investigate, because if you've been doing your research and you've been watching YouTube, your eye is getting trained and you're going to notice things that other people didn't notice. So honor that. Respect your own eye. This, I can't believe I found this in the last couple hours. With the microdosing, it's becoming a popular treatment for many things. I thought this was a really cool book, and the comp shows it was worth it. So that's really neat. This is a sealed VHS, which who knew those were going to come back? They're back. Totally worth it. I love when it has like the coupons and stuff on it. It's like a blast from the past. Now, I'm sharing these two books because they're in excellent condition with their dust jackets. Amazing, but they are book club editions. Book club editions normally, I'm sure there are exceptions, are worth less, but these still are going to have some value because of their condition. Excellent condition of these books. And those aren't the only ones I picked up, but I just wanted to mention that. Always look up, if you're worried about money, let's say books are $5 a piece or something, look up the exact edition that you have, because maybe it's a $75 book, or maybe it's worth $6 and you don't want to pay $5 for it. So I think it might be Homeschooling Picker that taught me about these blankets. You need to look for these blankets. I don't remember if that's what I paid for this, or if that was the price that the person who lived in this house paid for this, but I don't think I paid much for the blanket, and it's never been used. It's never been out of its packaging. So that will be easy to ship and easy to sell, and I'll make myself a quick $60 or so. So kept that in the haul. I bought a bunch of these White House hand towels. This person was affiliated with the government, and I thought people in my booth actually might want to buy these because we're close enough to DC that they might think that was kind of cool. But they have enough value that you could lot them up and sell them on Etsy as well. Just something I've never seen before. I got 2 needlepoint pillows. These are very nicely made. I think this is fake velvet on this one, but I think this one has real velvet. And I haven't decided, because they are in great shape, if I'm going to put them online. I might put them online because they are in good condition. I don't see any major stains or damage. And I do think I'm more likely to find the buyer for these that will be willing to pay close to that comp online. So I'm not sure how old the folk art on this. I think this is a cheese box. It's not, I don't think it's a hat box. Hat boxes, I believe, are almost always cardboard, and this is wood. And so I did a little bit of research. I don't know when they did this artwork or how old it is, but I still think I can sell this in the booth. I don't really want to ship this, even if it's worth what that comp says, but I did think it was a really neat piece from that really old mansion, worth sharing. Look for this kind of folky amateur art. You'll know it when you see it. It makes you feel good, even though it might not be the best art you've ever seen. Okay, we're going to go on to the next table, which is mostly vintage clothing, some really cool stuff. Okay, so this is the second table of items, the last table of items I'm going to show you. This is not every single article of clothing I got, and I think all of the clothing came from the first of the 2 sales. The one that I said was a little messier and not quite so fancy, bougie. If you see wool blazers in good condition, this is a really interesting, like a plaid. Is it a Harris tweed? Is this a houndstooth? Help me out with this pattern. Anyway, I love the collar on this. This is Liz Sport, so that's part of the way that you're going to know it is vintage. And it has a substantial shoulder pad. So I'm thinking this is from the 80s. It has great buttons. And this is worth between $30 and $50, and I probably paid $2 or something like that. The clothing was relatively inexpensive. This is a really neat, sort of a mandarin color velvet dress. It's got this sort of Asian-inspired neckline here. David Warren, velvet or velour, I guess maybe is a better word. Long, like a maxi dress. Stuff like this is coming back. These velvet dresses that were popular in the 80s and 90s are back, so they are worth buying whether you decide to list online or you have a booth. This was one of my favorite pieces, and you know, I buy very quickly. I shop very quickly, I move very quickly, and sometimes that makes things tricky, but because I do that, sometimes later on, I heard one of my other YouTuber pals, I don't actually know them, you know how that goes. You feel like you have a relationship with the person. You guys, of course, have one with me, but these people have no idea who I am. And she was talking about having a shopping blackout. And she didn't remember what she bought. And I kind of feel like that sometimes. But look at the print on this dress, the style. What do they call this? A dagger collar? I think B. Jones Style calls it a dagger collar. So it's got the 60s, 70s style look. It's got the tie still with it. Emilio Borghese, is that how you say it? Borghese? Help me out with the pronunciation if you know how to say that. I guess I can look it up. Anyway, if you see something like this with that name, you definitely want to snatch that up. Okay, there were more t-shirts than this in the grouping, but I wanted to show you a sampling. Some of them you're going to be like, oh yeah, I would definitely grab that. This is still in its original packaging with its original price tag, new old stock. It's Syracuse. It's this ringer tee. And then it has this interesting detail here that you don't always see. So the ringer tees are going to have a different color at the edge of the sleeve and at the neckline. So that's pretty cool for anyone who either lives there, goes to school there. This one must have been one of their favorites. Now, you can get this with different states here, it appears. So I don't know why we're picking on different states. Can you guys fill me in? I may have been too young and naive in the 80s to know what the heck this means. But anyway, I thought these pegs were really cute. Iowa is not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. And I actually think the back of this t-shirt is just as cute. The end. Adorable. This one's a little bit pilly. It has a little bit of discoloration, but I thought that was cute. And some of these, I don't think they were ever worn. So this is like a souvenir shirt that someone would bring you back, or maybe you would buy yourself in the Bahamas. It says it's better in the Bahamas. This thing feels like someone just brought it home. And I think I remember the closet that this came out of. It was like off of the bathroom. And I don't think anyone had gone in there. There was like, maybe there was a trash bag on the floor. It's been a good month or so since this sale. I was hoarding this stuff in my car because I was busy with the holidays. That's the story I'm going with. Anyway, $60 for a vintage travel or souvenir t-shirt? Yes, please. This one, not quite as valuable, but it has this sort of, it's almost like ribbing, but I don't think that's what it is. I remember seeing these kind of like inexpensive tourist pieces with this texture. Do you remember that? Anyway, that was how I knew that was vintage, but I did look it up as well. And actually, I love and hope that I can wear one of these because this is such a trip. I remember this. When I grow up, I want to be like Jerry Ferraro, Mondale and Ferraro. And this is, I don't remember what you call this. It's like that velvety, puffy, sort of like sticker type t-shirt. These are crazy valuable. I actually didn't find these exact ones, to be honest, but I found something similar that was $100 a piece. And I'm going to guess that I paid maybe $2 a piece at the most. So you definitely want to look for trends from the past. I mean, the 60s and 70s are still in, and of course, famous designers always are. But this 80s stuff, even if you already lived through that era, okay, pretend you're 15. Oh, sorry, I'm giving my age away. Pretend you're young again and you're trying to recreate your youth. Or maybe you just need to watch a bunch of 80s movies so that you'll be more familiar if you're younger than I am. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me on this trip It's worth it to go the last day of estate sales. Guess what? I hope you go to an estate sale, whether it's the first or the last day. I hope you dig around in some amazing secret closet and you find some amazing treasures. And you know what? If you continue to search, never stop searching, and you will find things like this that are worth $100 a piece. It's so crazy, but you have to be willing to put in the time and dig around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave me a like, a comment, a share, or subscribe if you haven't done so. I always appreciate meeting up with you guys here, and I will see you guys next time.